Morning, it's August 21st. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, and it's cool, so it's a lovely morning for a walk. It's going to be kind of random. My idea is I think, to go up along Regina Avenue, maybe up to Queen Street, walk down to the garden I've been to a few times, and just see what we see along the way till I fill out the time. That's why I called this Random Ramble. But it is a lovely morning. Of course, it was raining yesterday. If you saw that when I walked around the lake in the rain without talking, and I only had two people that came on early on and wondered why my sound wasn't right, but that's because I chose to do a non-talking walk. So you could hear the rain. It wasn't raining very hard. Well, it rained harder toward the end than it did toward the beginning. If you check it out, it was drizzling to start with, and then it turned into rain, harder rain later on. Everything's greener as a result of that rain, and it's supposed to rain again tomorrow. So we will see what we see. But today, sunny. Not too warm, actually quite chilly in the shade, but I'll warm up as I walk. I think it was 9 degrees when I first came out this morning. It'll be a little higher than that now. It's very productive yesterday on the Tangled Stars. Got several more chapters revised for submission. I hope to get it in this week. But this being Saturday, there are errands to run. Anyway, once I get it done, then I can concentrate on the finishing up the anthology, Shapers of Worlds Volume 2. Maybe still two authors who haven't gotten their edits back to me. Plus I have to finish my story. It started, but it's not finished. It's been a while since I came down here and just came up under the dike down Retallick here. So if you are there on YouTube or Facebook, say hi. Try to keep an eye on my mic and hopefully it stays connected. Not sure how well it charged. I just don't trust it anymore. It's let me down a few times. So I'll keep an eye on it. Hi, Miriam. In India. It's a beautiful day here today. And mostly, I don't think we'll have smoke in the air either, which is nice. Beautiful blue sky and green grass. And again, they cut down not cut down, but trimmed the bushes along this dike to the left. So you can now see across the creek better. And to be seen, I suspect that was the main reason. That's security, but also for views. People who want to look at the creek. Hopefully after the rain it smells better. It's been getting kind of stinky. And with the bushes cut back, you can see the footbridge from further away. I think this must be the first time I've walked this direction since they trimmed the bushes. There's all those nice sunflowers down there. Even the berries are showing up on bushes now. We get closer to fall. we'll see more of those along the way. Good mud. We're working our way on that house over there. Okay, across the bridge. Always the first step. And we always stop and take a look. Looking east. Got something in my eye. That's going to be a nuisance if it doesn't go away. Looking west. I can still smell the creek. It might not be quite as stinky as it has been. Hi, Roger. You're hearing voices again. I'm not saying anything, so it must be your imagination. If you think I'm talking to you, nope. Completely silent. Go down Regina Avenue here for a ways. I'm thinking to go straight to Queen Street and then just go straight down Queen. What I'm thinking to do. It is a cool breeze. And wearing short sleeves. My daughter was working with somebody at the farmer's market who's newly arrived from Africa and was very cold. It was like 12 degrees or whatever last week. And he was asking, you know, is it like this in the winter? Oh, poor guy. I suppose if you've never experienced probably even anything below freezing. Berries. This is a mountain ash, I think. Looks like the tree in our yard. The fountain and a little display of Saskatchewan flags and Rough Rider flags. I mean, we moved up here from Texas, but we had experienced sub-zero Fahrenheit temperatures even in North Texas. Whereas I think I've said there's a saying that there's nothing between you and the North Pole but a few strands of barbed wire, and they're mostly down. So I can remember, well, snow up to my knees, but of course I was 6, so it wasn't that much snow. And temperatures like -4, -5 Fahrenheit, so -23, 22 maybe Celsius. So we weren't completely unprepared for cold weather. Certainly then it went colder than that. But if you came from Africa, I would think, poor guy, when it gets to like -20, it's going to really get a new grasp of what cold can be. -20 Fahrenheit, -30 Celsius. I'll be out walking unless the wind chill is just so much I can't take it, which will probably happen in a day or two during the winter. But if you dress warmly enough, I used to walk I used to walk around the lake, you know, as long as it's minus 20 or above, it's quite warm. And I've walked with really high wind chills as long as you cover your face and, you know, wear good mitts. It can be okay, long underwear, because you're putting heat out while you're walking, so it keeps you warm. Never been to Africa. Closest I've been would be been to the Mediterranean, so the continent wasn't too far away, but we were in Greece, Italy. Stone. We're just going to keep walking straight on down. To Queen. Never been to Spain, but I kind of like the music. Little song cue there for those who know it. Well, I never been to Spain, but I kind of like the music. I don't know who sang that. Was it Three Dog Night? Not sure. I should know, but I don't. It's been a while. Been a while since that song came out. Never been to Spain, but I've been to Oklahoma. Isn't that one of the lines? Definitely been to Oklahoma. I have relatives there, or have had over the years. Bartlesville. And then when my grandfather retired, he moved to a small resort town called Disney, Oklahoma. Visited him there in, I remember, 1976. He and his second wife, my grandmother died many years before, were living in a house trailer in this resort community of Disney on the lake. And I remember hanging out with my cousins, and I had my own cabin that they rented for me to sleep in because there wasn't room in the trailer, so I had a place to myself. I remember it well. And it was the bicentennial year. I remember watching bicentennial fireworks on their little TV while we were there. Must have been July 4th. I'd love to see Victoria Falls. Maybe someday. Lots of places to see in the world. You can't get to them all, especially if you don't travel any more than I do. Hard to travel anywhere still right now. Yes, I've certainly seen pictures of Victoria Falls. It's quite amazing place. I've been to Niagara Falls, which are also amazing. But I think they're a lot lower than Victoria Falls. Sometimes on Saturdays I drive somewhere, but today I didn't want to. And it's my vlog. Nobody can make me. You've got Princess Street, and you've got Coronation Street, sure there's a King Street and then it's Queen, or maybe Queen comes first. I don't know. There's an alley. Car waited for me. I have a good camera, like a proper, oh, here's Queen, so we'll go down Queen now. I have a proper digital SLR, which I, with a wide angle and a telephoto and all that stuff, which I take on important trips where I really want to record things. But the iPhone is so handy, it's always there, and it does a good job. So it has kind of, for ordinary usage, replaced cameras for sure. I prefer to walk on the side where the cars are facing away from me. I don't know why. Just going to go down Queen. All the grass is green again because of the rain. It's amazing how it greens up with the rain, even if it was quite brown before. Almost looks like spring again, except for the occasional patch of yellow leaves. Ugh. Big pile of mud there in the middle of the street, middle of the sidewalk. We'll just avoid that. Ran off of that unsodded yard there. Unsodded yard. It's a fence that's got a little more interest to it than your typical picket fence. Street curves. Didn't know if it did that or not. Should really look at maps before I come out so I have some sense of the twists and turns of the path, but now turning me around and sending me back east again, which I didn't really expect. Oh, that's why. Let's go down here. It says park, which I have walked by one road down, and then come down this way. There's playground in there, tucked away behind those bushes. Can't see anything now with the sun in my eyes. Cain Park, C-A-E-N. Oh, let's take the sidewalk here. I mean the alley here. Hopefully it goes through somewhere and it doesn't stick me walking all the way around the park again. No motor vehicles in the park. I am not a motor vehicle. There's the playground again. No kids on it. Looks like one my daughter would have enjoyed when she was younger. She's so young at 20, but not nearly as focused on playgrounds as she used to be. I don't think they even have one at the University of Toronto for the students. Oh, they have gyms and stuff, but an actual playground? Probably only for the daycare. Woof woof. See? Berries on there too. Oh, those are flowers. Still some flowers. Okay. Well, this is the Lakeview par 3 golf course. There's a tennis courts in there too, you can see through the trees. I have walked along here. I have often walked down this street before. Not that often, but occasionally. And we won't go into the golf course because people don't like it if there's people walking on the course when they're hitting balls. And you don't like it either if you get hit by one. Lakeview golf course and tennis courts. Squirrel. Encountered a cat along here last time I walked. I'll be taking a break the next few days, doing something that will take me away from this. Don't worry, it'll only be for a few days and I'll be back. I will have done over 170 consecutive days when I finally have to take a break. I'll still be walking somewhere, but I won't be recording it. But then I'll be back after a few days and resume. Small golf course over there. There's a dog and an owner. Dog's in the street. There's a big puddle in the way there too. Morning. And over here is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Fire hall. I want to go down to the right here, I think. Seventh-day Adventists. This is Hill Avenue, Kings Road. Said, not really a destination in mind. At some point I should encounter the Grow Regina Garden. Although this is going to curve me. Oh yeah, it's up there. You can see the edge of town out there if you look past those trees at the end of the road. I should have stayed on the other side. To get into the garden, which is on this side of the street. It's a federal election underway. Not a lot of yard signs. Warren Stanley. He's the incumbent of the Conservative Party. That's the only sign I've seen, I think. There's maybe two on our crescent. That's about it. I don't know if the parties were taken by surprise. This is a very sudden snap election as the Prime Minister thinks he can improve and maybe get a majority government instead of a minority. I personally hope he loses even that, but that's just me. Not a fan of our Prime Minister. Not a fan of any politician. Oh, I'm not where I thought I was. Oh well, I'll get there. Come over here by the creek, and that will always make for a more interesting walk. So I was wrong about changing sides. I still want to be on the other side, the side I was on to begin with. Interesting front feature. Guard tower? I don't know. Could you walk on that side? You could. There's more of a path on the other side, so we'll take it. Hey, there's actually water in the storm channel. Last time I came along here, it was completely dry. That's another sign of all the rain we had. So there's a bit of a path here. Hopefully it's not too horribly muddy. I'm sure those weren't that overgrown on the path the first time I came along here earlier in the year. There we go. Try to stay on the grass though to avoid the bit of mud where the grass has been worn off. Yeah, that was completely dry on my last walk by. Now it's got a little bit of water in it. Just enough to breed mosquitoes. Well, the mosquitoes breed the mosquitoes, but they need the water to do it. And this brings us to the Grow Regina Garden, which I like to come to periodically. First time I came, it was still pretty much winter and there was nothing here, and now as you can see, there's lots here. Sunflowers, corn, lots of vegetables grown in here. And I can smell dill. That seems to really, oh, tomatoes. And something big on the ground. Is that a melon? If it's a tomato, it's a record breaker, but I don't think it's a tomato. More sunflowers, more corn. A few flowers just for make it look pretty. Yeah, we'll keep going this way. I don't think I've walked along this path very often. Through the rustling stalks of corn. Oh, somebody else there I just noticed. Hi, Peter. This is Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. We mispronounce it. It should be pronounced Regina because, of course, it's Latin for queen, but it's pronounced Regina, named after Queen Victoria, Victoria Regina, because it was founded 1880s, maybe? So it's a young city by most of the world's standards. Population about 200,000, and it's the capital of the province of Saskatchewan. This gazebo was made by noted local artist Victor Sakansky. The leafy canopy, and then the vegetables around here on the inside or on the walls. It's very cool. And this is the Grow Regina Community Garden. So all of these plots are owned or rented, I presume, by people who want to grow vegetables and such like in the middle of the city. I'm kind of taking a zigzag path through it just to show it off. I don't have any other destination in mind today. I'm surprised there's not more people out working this morning. It's such a nice cool morning. Maybe because of the rain they figure they don't need to water anything. There's a splash of color from some flowers over there. And there's a bit of an orchard over here. Fruit trees. Let's see, hazelnut, cherry, gooseberry, grape. Well, you won't be making any wine out of that, but they are grapevines. More grape. Haskap, which is another berry. There we go. And in about 6 weeks, the frost will have killed everything, or it'll be well on its way to killing everything. We're probably about 6 weeks from, could be 5 weeks from the first frost. If we're really unlucky, we're a month. If we're really unlucky, about 3 weeks. So, again, that's a Vic Sakansky artwork there of the planter. And digger over here, we actually have a small version of this on our mantelpiece at home. Oh, we've already gone 38 minutes. That surprises me. Guess we should head home then. Or I should. Don't know where you are. Okay, so we will just go back this way. Walked through that park before, but since I've already been out 38 minutes, I won't do that today. Kinsman Park South. My first walks back 170 walks ago or thereabouts. This road was all torn up. Now it's brand new and black and smooth. Maybe I'll zigzag going back and see what that does. Such a nice morning for walking. Oh, nice and cool. 11 degrees or thereabouts. First really bright blue sky we've had for quite a while. I mean, of course, it was raining and it was cloudy, and then we had days when it looked like it was cloudy, but it was really forest fire smoke more than anything else from further west and up north. Further west, mainly, I guess. It's the time of year when boats show up in the driveways. So it's really nice to see the bright blue sky of Saskatchewan. Our motto is Land of Living Skies. So we'll zigzag our way back home, which means a left turn here to start. Oh, that takes us back to Pasqua Street. No, we don't want to go that way. We want to go this way. Get turned around sometimes with the way the roads curve. So I have a mental image in my mind of which way we're facing, but we're actually at right angles to where I thought we were. The sun's a really good indication that you're walking east. I think I'm back on Hill Avenue. Yes, I am, because I walked by this campaign sign before, but we will change roads as soon as I get an opportunity. Come by the Seventh-day Adventist Church building again. Oh, we could go right behind it here. Let's do that. No, the sidewalk doesn't go through. I'd have to walk in the wet grass. I don't want to do that. I'm sure this used to be, well, there's a church across the street there too, kind of a pretty little building. And that used to be a fire hall, but now it's a Capel Health District building of some sort. Right there. This is Saturday, so Seventh-day Adventists. Then you've got the Curtis Horn Christian School next to it. Seventh-day Adventists should have had services if they're having in-person services. There's no government restrictions on that, but they might have their own restrictions. Okay, we'll go across Kings Road because I already walked down it. And carry on. Roof work going to my left. You hear music, that's where that's coming from. Or a DJ, actually. Oh, I'm closer even than I thought to Hill Avenue Shopping Center. But I walked by that many times, so I won't go by that this morning. It's a little strip of stores here on the hill, just for a block. A pizza place and a grocery store, kitchen supply store. What else? Nails, beauty salon, that sort of thing. Ooh, a good example of the mountain ash. Berries coming out now. Sure sign of approaching autumn. It's also a game day for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Last week I walked up around the stadium, which was also a game day. They're having a whole bunch of home games to start the season here. It's okay, but we won't walk down there today. We'll walk up here. Which will take us by quite a lovely Orthodox church a little further up. Where we've often bought baking at Christmas time. They usually have a bake sale. Baklava, among other things. Don't know if baklava is baking or not. I suppose it's baked in some fashion. At least the pastry is. Ow! Almost misjudged the corner there. It's trouble with having your eyes on the screen and not looking often enough at your feet. Ooh. If this was smell-o-vision, that horse trailer I went by still smelled very strongly of horse. No horses were in it that I saw, but they certainly are only recently departed. Woof, woof, woof. Nobody's bothering your backyard, just walking by. Lovely shaded streets. I like the fact that house still has awnings, not yawnings, awnings. A lot of houses used to have them. And maybe they look a little dated, but now they're also kind of funky and interesting. They have shutters, they have awnings. Our house used to have awnings when it was new, which was in 1926 was when it was built. We've seen pictures. But they're long gone. Someday we'll get around to redoing the outside of the house and maybe we'll put them back on. Who knows? They're not as necessary with central air conditioning, which was the first thing we put into the house, which has been in the family since 1939, but everybody until us put up with the heat in the summer. And this year, when we've had such long stretches of hot weather, I'm particularly glad we did that first thing. But since I'm a freelance writer and was going to be working at home, I thought that was an absolute necessity. Here's the church coming up on the left. St. Paul's Greek Orthodox. This is actually the hall on this side. Come around to the front eventually. Get a better idea of what it looks like. Across the street first. So if I go down McAllen there, it'll take me straight back. I think I'll keep going this way a little bit. So there's the church. I mean, it's kind of plain, but I like it. The brick and the pillars in the front. I like it. I've never been in the church proper. I've only been in the community hall. go this way, although there is a possibility I'll get unstable internet connections along here. It's happened before. Taking us back towards Regina Avenue. Kane Avenue to go along with Kane Park that we popped by earlier. Smaller houses, probably post-Second World War. Probably when this neighborhood was built. Probably, I'm just guessing, but typically these little houses are from that time period. And there was a housing shortage because of returning soldiers. Black. Well, in the summertime and the wintertime, that probably reduces your heating costs. But in the summertime, quite the opposite, one would think. Let's take an alley. Oh, let's not have a boring alley. On one walk I did, somebody commented on the amount of camping equipment you saw on the streets. We have a very short window of camping, say late May to late September. So people who were campers do like to take advantage of it while they can. Not a camper myself. Last time I went camping I was a kid. And I ain't a kid no more. Regina Avenue up there. An empty lot, a bit narrow. We'll build to suit, it says. That looks like a newer one over there. More of these really tiny ones. Oh, there's another yard sign. That's for the Liberals. I think that's only two I've seen on the whole walk. That worked out pretty well, coming right back to this corner where I can cross over. Maybe take a turn down by the Waterfall Park and then follow the walkway back to the footbridge and home. It's a big new one there. Big sunroom at the back and a deck on top. Big yard. Must be two lots. Or there just happened to be a really big corner lot there. Which way will we be going first? Oh, that's about to change, so we'll go this way first. Elphinstone, which turns into Montague, which turns into Argyle. It feels like one road, so I always think of it as Elphinstone, but it's actually not on this side of Regina Avenue. So we'll go over there to the Waterfall Garden, see the lovely flowers in front of the sign. Just a strip mall over there and a condo building beyond it. Lovely flowers in front of the sign. This grass again, like all the grass, is suddenly green again after being starting to brown a bit. And more rain coming tomorrow. I always like coming down here. There's something about it's this little bit of pine forest here. Not really forest, it's just a couple of lines, but especially after the rain, it smells like the mountains, and it even kind of looks like you're up in the mountains. Maybe on a path somewhere near Banff Springs Hotel, along the Bow River. Except our waterfall here is considerably less impressive than the Bow Falls. And not even a real waterfall, it's really a fountain. Well, we'll go over the bridge. There it is. There's even water in this creek, which there wasn't a little bit more. I don't know. I guess that's the outflow from the pond. It has to be that the waterfall goes into. And these flowers, I was walking along here in the snow, showing them when they first started to show up after that, and now they're at their full floweriness and colorful plantiness. Oh, I hope this isn't too muddy. Try to stay on the grassy part of it here. And then we're on the footpath, bicycle path, whatever you want to call it. Multi-use pathway, that's what they call it. Because it's both those things. With Wascana Creek to the left, smelling a little better, but I can still smell it. Water's nice and blue today because of the blue sky. Always nice when somebody actually uses a bell. It doesn't just zip by close enough to get elbowed if you turn the wrong way at the wrong moment. Heading to the footbridge again. Again, the water is very blue today. Somewhat picturesque, the bridge. That's where we're going. Big old tree there. Yep. Very thin ice this time of year. There's probably on the sidewalk on that side. Down the other side. Been watching that get built since these walks started. In fact, people are living in it now. Yeah, we're going. And go check out the row houses and see how that new porch is kind of, it should be done by now. Oh yeah, and I always like to go by this house because it's very mysterious. Huge garden. Very modern house. I'd love to see the inside of. But they've never asked me. Don't know who they are, for one reason. There's a big modern one there, too. Not as mysterious as the other one, more traditional. Lots of new houses along here. I mean, these are all new, too, even though they look a bit more like what was originally here. But the original ones, again, were going to be these little ones. Because I lived in one street over, very similar in size. Another new one there. And up here, there's a couple of new ones on the corner, new ones over there. There's not much left of the old houses on this street. Three in a row, actually, 4 in a row. Brand new ones. Then you have these row houses over here, which are a heritage building, I believe, and still in use. Condos, I think. Oh, good. We'll walk over there. They have been, they completely redid one of these porches. Like ripped it right off and then rebuilt it. And that would be this one here. Now, you can't really tell anymore. So good job. Looks exactly like the others, even though it's brand new. A couple more blocks and I will stop at my usual stop sign. corner of Retallick and Angus Crescent. We live on Angus Crescent. Across, this just runs out, splits. Now there's a new one of the extra large and impressive size, next to an older one. Very nice, but it seems small next to that one. This one I've been in. I know who lives there. I assume they still live there. It's been a while. And that one over there too. Interviewing somebody. One more block. And we will be done. How long did I end up walking? Did I go over an hour? Just barely. So pretty much exactly the length I was aiming for. I forgot to check my microphone along the way, but it's still connected, so that's good. It's very discouraging when you realize you've been talking to yourself entirely and not even recording it for future views. It's pretty with the sun this time of morning, lighting up the houses. The elm trees arching over the street. It's a very nice neighborhood. I'm glad I ended up here. After I moved to Regina in '88. My first house was a long way from here, way up in the northwest. My first apartment, I should say. Okay. There's my traditional stop sign. So thank you for walking with me. If you watched any of this live, if you're watching the recording, thanks for that. And I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.